Hey brothers and sisters, I tried to do this video a few days back and was having some trouble with the screen casting system and tried doing the update and it worked 2 or 3 times when I tested it and then it broke again. So I am going with this process here. I won't be able to play any audio clips from a couple of these other videos I wanted to show you because that is the part that's broken. But this is title of this video is Christmas Musings, and I wanted to have an upbeat video. And in the last couple of days, I saw some other things. Let's put it that way. So I guess this video will kind of be in 2 chunks: some things around Christmas, and then some additional discovery I had around the significance of this Christmas period, uh, meaning the December time frame, and then uh, some other, let's just say, more random Bible study kind of things that'll be the second part here. So this is a little bit about Christmas, and the encouraging part was just a series of videos that come out recently here. This one, Jen Brazel, is I think fairly new to YouTube, but she really seems like the Lord speaks to her, and so her videos are fun. You listen to her, and um, I'd encourage you. I'll have these links down below, but she's really got it impressed upon her, and the Lord's telling her that we're very near to the rapture. And so hope that's right. Hope that's what's going on. Most of you probably already have Bear049 subscribed to, but he receives very clear dreams and visions, and he's recounted a bunch of times how they've actually manifested. And he's coming back to something that he was showing in 2011 about the timing of the rapture, and it related to seeing gold garland, I think, in the church. And on this video here, he refers back to that and has an additional dream, and it's probably talking about this the Christmas time frame here as being the time frame that the church is going to leave. So that got me all fired up again, and this is probably the best of the bunch in terms of getting you fired up. Um, this Mark Murchison, he's talking about a dream that he awoke from and then immediately had a vision. This happened just like a year ago, almost exactly, and he didn't feel like he was supposed to share it last year, but he said all the current events going on in the world today, he felt compelled to share it this time around. But it was, a dream of the rapture at the Christmas season, around the Christmas season, and it's a great one. Talk about getting you fired up. So definitely come see that one. Now, uh, the last one here, Brother Todd at the Stam Heating site, he wasn't talking specific to Christmas, but he's got an anxiousness about what he's seeing going on and about how um, the Lord's impressing upon him again this notion of that the U.S. is going to be struck, and then on the heels of that, the New World Order arises for real, comes out of the shadows and takes control. That's kind of the theme in here. He gets into it, but that's kind of the theme in here. And I guess come watch it. But there is a tie now to something else that I've been studying. And the something else has to do with what is the timing. Well, I guess the other point to note here is I think most of you have been aware that in the news there's been several sort of jihadist threats of doing something over the Christmas period. Now, if they choose the Christmas time frame to do something with airliners, or in Europe there's a threat for a dirty bomb going off now that ISIS just tried to put out into the media, you would think Christmas is very tied probably to the U.S. and hurting our economy. So, could we be struck? Are these two things related? I don't know, but I'm just putting it out there that there's threats right now from, quote, ISIS, um, that's saying dirty bomb in Europe, and threats against the airlines over the Christmas holiday. So, is that going to happen or not? I, I don't know. Then let's take a look at some other interesting things. Okay, so in that Christmas kind of theme, and I don't want to bum anybody out about Christmas, but I think most people that watch my channel anyways have enough biblical and historical understanding to not be surprised by this next part here is the origins of Christmas, the way we celebrate it here in the U.S. in particular, is pagan. And you could hit this in dozens of sites, but I'm just going to read the two paragraphs here just to kind of set the stage. So the origins of many of our cherished customs come from Babylonian sun worship. Over the years have been cleverly absorbed into Christianity. The Nimrod tree, our Christmas tree, originated in Babylon. Wreaths, branches, boughs, and trees were used by the ancient pagans as emblems of Nimrod because they were thought of as the rebirth of the sun. Okay, hold on to that. Trees were decorated during the winter solstice. The Babylonian mythology after Nimrod's death, he became the sun god, and we've hit that a million times in my videos. He was worshipped as Baal. We've hit that a million times in my videos. Marduk, Mithras, Ahura, Mazda. Yep, it's the same as the emblem on the car, guys, I think. God, Anton, and Dagon, and we've hit that a million times. Pagans were absorbed into Christianity along with their pagan religious festivals, and the truth was cleverly mixed with abominations. December 25th was the very day and season on which the pagans for centuries had celebrated the birth of the sun gods. That the various sun gods which were worshipped in different countries were all believed to have been born on the same season would indicate that they were but different forms under different names of the original son of the sun god Tammuz. Get that? And we know that Nimrod, his wife Semiramis, had Tammuz, and there's a little bit of a debate there because some say that Nimrod died, came back, and impregnated Semiramis afterward. So, okay. But that would, again, ascribe deity then to Tammuz, wouldn't it? Okay. The original son of the sun god, Tammuz of Babylon, the land from which sun worship originally spread. Yeah, we know that. In Babylon, the birthday of Tammuz was celebrated at the time of the winter solstice. You catching this? With great festivals, revelry, and drunkenness. The nativity worship of the sun god, the hidden god Tammuz, also known as Nimrod, was performed with the carved idol images that were set up in chamber rooms, manger scene sets, and prayed to. The figures in the modern nativity sets have been given Christian names such as Mary, Joseph, three wise men, and shepherds, but these are only an evolved corruption of the real representation of Tammuz worship. And now we're getting into it a little bit, guys, and you see it here in these paragraphs because Nimrod and the kid Tammuz frequently are combined. And one of the traditions I've read in other websites was the thought was that Nimrod somehow is going to reappear in the form of Tammuz in the future. We know he's the resurrecting god. We see that in Egyptian symbolism and all that. The assumption was he was going to reappear. Why he reappears as Tammuz, I'm not exactly sure, but it's implied here as well. So we get that here in this last paragraph. And one of the other traditions that wasn't in here, but it was said that the Yule log candles were lit on the solstice right at, like December 21st, and that the decorated tree for Nimrod would then be unveiled on December 25th. And that was supposed to represent the resurrection or the appearing of the sun god back to earth. And in Norse traditions and Germanic traditions, I think this leads to why Santa's running through the air. Is it's the arrival of the history of this Tammuz coming back. And so you can see kind of the pagan tie to all this, but I really think it's interesting how that particular story centers on this Christmas time frame. The solstice in particular has always been important, and I think in the pagan holiday calendar, this winter solstice is actually known as Yule today. And so again, it's this very important thing. Now, I was kind of digging through this, trying to figure out, is there anything, significant? Because we know the New World Order, and we know that all this Luciferian worship also sees Lucifer coming at some point. That's why they keep showing the all-seeing eye, and that's why you've got all the starlets and actors and whoever so anxious right now to show how pagan they are, in every possible way. And so I think they're anticipating here the rise of Lucifer coming. So I'm picking on this time frame, and I'm hoping you're kind of following this now, because we've also gotten into the history of the Roman Empire, right? And how the Roman Empire has always tried to combine the temporal or earthly with the spiritual, the heavenly, under the Pope. And you see that in the symbolism of the two keys on a lot of the shields that the popes choose for themselves. And let's just read a little paragraph in here. Charlemagne was determined to strengthen his realm and to bring order to Europe. In 772, and that's AD, he launched a 30-year military campaign to accomplish the objective. By 800, Charlemagne was the undisputed ruler of Western Europe. His vast realm encompassed what are now France, Switzerland, Belgium, the Netherlands, and included half of the present-day Italy and Germany and parts of Austria and Spain. By establishing a Roman government over Western Europe, Charlemagne restored much of the unity of the old Roman Empire and paved the way for the development of modern Europe. Okay, on Christmas Day in 800, while Charlemagne knelt in prayer in St. Peter's in Rome, Pope Leo III placed a golden crown on the bowed head of the king. Charlemagne is said to have been surprised by the coronation, declaring that he would not have come into the church had he known the Pope's plan. And I was reading that and I'm thinking, okay, what did he was already kind of conquered these lands. What is the point of the crowning there, right? And so I got into this. This is another recount of that. 2 days after Leo's oath, on Christmas Day, 800, he was crowned Charlemagne the Roman Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. And you can come down and look at the significance, but basically the Pope of that day crowned Charlemagne the head of the religious order, as well as he was the head then of the European kingdom, bringing together the spiritual and the temporal, which has been the point of all history. So why on Christmas Day? And so I'm just going to leave you with this, brothers and sisters. I think, according to pagan tradition, you can make the assumption that the Antichrist rise might actually happen on some December 25th, somewhere along the way. It seems like just a lot of historical and tradition things pointing to that, going all the way back to ancient Babylon, where it was cause for huge celebration, the thought of the rise of Tammuz, and um, how that's so embedded into the worship practices of the Catholic Church, which have polluted now, much of the English-speaking countries, let's put it that way. Um, so is this Christmas season significant? I mean, we know we're in the last days, brothers and sisters, and most people have a sense that the church will be taken right at the point where God brings the first smack at judgment down, and we know that the New World Order talks about order out of chaos, and I think look at the news, we're probably on the edge of that chaos. So many people talking about World War III, so many people talking about the dollar and the euro collapse, so many people looking at things like the plunging oil prices, collapsing the Russian economy, causing threats. Russia, just yesterday, Russia saying again that they're going to be drug into World War III by the last proclamation from our Congress. So who knows, but would it be out of the realm of, at some point just prior to Christmas, this year, next year, whenever, that this big attack occurs, the genesis of maybe World War III, the stuff that we see in the second, third, and fourth seals in Revelation 6, that part, and then on the heels of that, you see the establishment of the New World Order. And the rider on the white horse in the first seal, of course, could he be, quote, birthed or returned to earth on Christmas Day, fitting the pagan tradition of the going from the Yule log, which is supposed to be mourning of the sun, going down on the shortest day around December 21st to the rise on December 25th of Tammuz, and that being the proxy, let's say, for the risen Nimrod, the sun god, what the Luciferians are worshiping and expecting the arrival of their Savior. So didn't mean to do a kind of a weird Christmas musings kind of a video here, but there's just a lot of things hanging on my heart. I see I'm 18 minutes in. Wanted to leave this off here. I had some other stuff that I gotten into that was biblical based, but wanted to leave this as the Christmas musings video, and maybe I'll hit some of the other stuff in a different video. God bless, saints. I'm hoping we're real close. I think everybody is just on pins and needles seeing all the events that are happening around the world, as well as I am. And I get distracted, to be honest. I'm a little bit distracted around work and day in, day out events, because I just think, boy, it just feels so close. But let's just keep at it, brothers and sisters. We want to be caught pressing forward at the time the Lord comes for us. And that was the message to the Thessalonians, who had kind of given up work and were waiting for the return of Christ back in their day. So we can't be caught doing that. They were admonished. We would be admonished. So we got to keep getting the job done, keep proclaiming the word. But really, we're looking up at this point. God bless you, saints.